Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. What if a single coin could tell the entire story of America's independence? From the dreams of 1776 to the celebration of 1976, the U.S. quarter dollar holds 2 centuries of freedom, struggle, and national pride in the palm of your hand. The story of the United States quarter dollar is inseparable from the story of America itself. From the revolutionary ideals born in 1776 to the commemorative celebration of independence in 1976, the quarter dollar stands as a silent witness to 2 centuries of political struggle, economic growth, artistic evolution, and national identity. Though the coin officially came into existence years after the Declaration of Independence, its symbolism, design, and usage reflect the values and ambitions of the nation from its very beginning. In 1776, the American colonies declared independence from British rule, breaking away from a system that tightly controlled currency and trade. At that time, coins circulating in America were largely foreign, including Spanish reals, British pounds, and other European currencies. The lack of a unified national currency was a serious problem for the young nation, emphasizing the need for a monetary system that represented American sovereignty. Though the quarter dollar did not yet exist, the concept of a decimal-based currency system was already taking shape in the minds of early American leaders. The idea of a standardized U.S. coinage system gained momentum after independence. Thomas Jefferson strongly advocated for a decimal currency, believing it would be simple, logical, and distinctly American. His ideas led to the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the United States Mint and defined the nation's first official coins. Among these denominations was the quarter dollar, valued at 25 cents, a practical middle ground between smaller silver coins and larger denominations. The earliest quarter dollars were struck in 1796 and made of silver, reflecting both the economic realities of the era and the importance of precious metals in international trade. These early coins were large, heavy, and rich in silver content. Their designs were symbolic rather than decorative, featuring Lady Liberty as a representation of freedom and independence. The reverse often displayed an eagle, symbolizing strength, unity, and the nation's aspirations on the global stage. Throughout the 19th century, the quarter dollar evolved alongside the nation. As America expanded westward, survived internal conflicts, and transformed from an agrarian society into an industrial power, the quarter remained a constant presence in daily commerce. Its silver content made it valuable not only as money but also as a store of wealth, trusted by citizens across states and territories. Design changes over the years reflected shifting artistic tastes and political priorities. Early designs portrayed liberty in various forms: draped, capped, seated, each version symbolizing different ideals of freedom and governance. These designs were not merely artistic choices. They were statements about how Americans saw themselves and their republic at different moments in history. The Civil War era brought enormous strain to the American economy, and coins, including quarters, became scarce as people hoarded precious metals. Paper money became more common, but silver coins retained their importance and prestige. After the war, the quarter dollar resumed its role as a cornerstone of everyday transactions, helping rebuild trust in the nation's financial system. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, America was asserting itself as a global power. Coin designs became more refined, and minting technology improved. In 1916, one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coin history was introduced: the Standing Liberty Quarter. This design depicted Liberty standing confidently, holding a shield and olive branch, symbolizing both readiness to defend the nation and a desire for peace. The imagery reflected America's position during a time of global conflict and uncertainty. The Standing Liberty Quarter circulated during World War I and into the early 1930s, becoming a symbol of resilience during turbulent times. However, as the nation moved further into the modern era, the need for a new design emerged. In 1932, to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the Washington Quarter was introduced. The Washington Quarter marked a major shift in American coinage. For the first time, a real historical figure appeared on the quarter instead of a symbolic representation of liberty. George Washington's portrait emphasized leadership, unity, and national pride. Originally intended as a commemorative coin, the design proved so popular that it became the standard quarter design for decades to come. The Washington Quarter accompanied Americans through some of the most significant events of the 20th century, including the Great Depression, World War II, the post-war economic boom, and the early stages of the Cold War. During World War II, silver coins once again became vital to the economy, but rising industrial demand for silver eventually led to major changes. In 1965, one of the most dramatic transformations in the history of the quarter dollar occurred. Due to rising silver prices and widespread coin shortages, the U.S. government removed silver from circulating quarters. From that point forward, quarters were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than precious metal. This decision marked the end of an era and fundamentally changed how Americans viewed the quarter. Not as a store of silver, but purely as circulating currency. Despite the change in composition, the Washington quarter design remained largely unchanged, preserving a sense of continuity during a time of social and political upheaval. The 1960s and 1970s were decades of profound transformation in American society, marked by civil rights movements, the Vietnam War, and shifting cultural values. Through it all, the quarter remained a familiar object in pockets, wallets, and cash registers across the nation. As the United States approached its bicentennial in 1976, plans were made to commemorate 200 years of independence in a meaningful and lasting way. The quarter dollar was chosen as one of the coins to carry a special bicentennial design, ensuring that millions of Americans would come into contact with this historic tribute. The Bicentennial Quarter, dated 1776 to 1976, featured a unique reverse design depicting a colonial drummer boy, a torch surrounded by 13 stars, and the inscription celebrating 2 centuries of independence. This imagery captured the spirit of the American Revolution and honored the ordinary citizens who fought for freedom. Unlike earlier commemorative coins that were produced in limited quantities, the Bicentennial Quarter was struck in massive numbers, making it accessible to the entire population. The obverse retained George Washington's portrait, reinforcing the connection between the nation's founding and its bicentennial celebration. For many Americans, the Bicentennial Quarter became more than just currency. It was a tangible reminder of national history and shared heritage. The Bicentennial Quarter was minted in both copper-nickel-clad versions for circulation and special 40% silver versions for collectors. This dual production honored tradition while acknowledging modern economic realities. The widespread circulation of the coin ensured that the bicentennial celebration reached every corner of the country. From its conceptual roots in 1776 to its commemorative form in 1976, the quarter dollar tells a story of endurance, adaptation, and identity. It reflects the ideals of liberty, unity, and progress that define the United States. Each design change, metal shift, and commemorative issue mirrors the challenges and triumphs of the nation itself. Today, the 1776 to 1976 quarter dollar remains one of the most recognizable and collected coins in American history. It serves as a bridge between past and present, reminding Americans of where they came from and how far they have traveled as a nation. Though small in size, the quarter carries immense historical weight, embodying 200 years of American independence, innovation, and resilience. The story of the United States quarter dollar from 1776 to 1976 is not just the story of a coin. It is the story of a nation, minted in metal, passed from hand to hand, and preserved through generations as a symbol of freedom and unity.